River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
All right, everybody. Welcome to our Friday edition of Niner Nuts. I'm Dan here with the whole crew this time. Mr. Jimmy B, Mr. Easy E, and I'm Indiana Dan, I should say, when it comes to the Parlay episode. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
I'm good, man. Let's hit this parlay.
Yeah, let's make some money this week. And let's get a Niners win.
Yeah, what's more likely? Can we get the over-under on, are we going to hit the parlay, or are we going to actually beat the Chiefs this time?
It's more likely that neither will happen.
plus 750 money line.
Yeah.
Well, I got it right here. I got it. Ooh, maybe. Am I on the right one? Yes, I am on the right one. There we go. Wasn't as hard to get this set up this time, and I'm not going to dox myself. James, I almost did that last week. But anyway, guys, God, we're already at week 7, guys. We're almost at the middle of the season, and so far, our only parlay hit per our Friday tradition has been the mascot one. So we're on a little bit of a cold streak. Hopefully, these will change it. We deliberated over it off mic, and we, ladies and gentlemen, feel very confident here, and we will go through them per usual. First, right off the top, taking the Bills alternate spread of 6.5 over the Titans. This was objectively one of the easier picks. We had no deliberation really on this. Just, Bills are going to kill the Titans. Next one. We're all in agree, and we're all clearly on agreement on that. Do you guys have 2 cents on this game? Because I think the Bills are just going to destroy the Titans, and Will's going to make a fantastic meme like he usually does.
Yeah, I mean, Bills at home against Tennessee. This minus 6.5. Yeah, I like it. What was the actual spread? Do we remember?
9.5.
9.5. So they take it down to 6.5. Bills win by a touchdown. Hey, we win. So
yeah, let's play it safe for the ticket. Like, yeah, it might be 9. I would have been okay if we kept it there, but 6.5 is comfortable for me.
Yeah, it didn't change the odds too drastically, bringing it down to 6.5. So thought that made sense to get us under that touchdown marker. And I agree with the two of you. Bills should win this game. This is going to likely be one of the games that I'm taking in my survivor pool this week to try to stay alive for the big money there. So we'll see what happens. I
strongly advise that personally. So anyway, not to spend too much time on that blowout game. David Montgomery, anytime scorer, 3 weeks into his brand new contract of like 18 million and 12 guaranteed or something like that. Like, he got a really nice contract. So now he's with them for like 4 or 5 more seasons if you include this one. And Montgomery has earned every single penny of it. See to it, we believe, that he will score again, just because he's a wrecking ball. And personally, I love this dynamic of like Gibbs is the shifty, you throw it to him out in space, he can run on the outside, and then David Montgomery is the just run it down your throat and just punch you in the mouth kind of running back. And that's really good to have in the red zone.
Tackles at wide receiver, so yeah. So yeah, that offense is just crazy with all the things that they can do and all the things that they pulled out for the Cowboys game. I mean, you wonder what else they have up their sleeve too, as far as like trick plays. So that offense is really, really good, especially going in there into Dallas and beating them 47-9, and just, they had like 3 trick plays to an offensive lineman. And if it wouldn't have been for some stupid penalties, they would have had 3 touchdowns by offensive linemen. So Our offense is just crazy. And so I expect David Montgomery to definitely score a touchdown in this game.
Yeah, Montgomery's not having a monster season like some of the other backs in the NFL are, but he's been very, very consistent for the Lions. Dan, you pointed out the fact that he's been splitting time with Jahmyr Gibbs, and that's reflected in his carries, and it reflects in his yardage total. He's only got 351 yards for the season. Now he's short a game, give or take, if you want to play it that way, because they just came off their bye week 2 weeks ago. So he's down one from everybody else, but he's got 6 touchdowns already on the season. He's scored in every single Lions game. And, they give him the ball in those goal to go situations. So, he's pretty reliable for this kind of thing. And I think as long as they get down there in those situations, he's going to get the ball. And this is probably going to be, I think this is going to end up being I don't want to say like a ridiculously high scoring game like Buccaneers Saints last week, but I think there's some points are going to get put up in this game, and I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities to score. I don't think the Lions are going to get shut down by the Vikings defense. I think that both teams are going to get plenty of opportunities to score points. I see this as being, kind of maybe a 28-24 or a 31-24 or something like that kind of game.
Yeah, this is the game I'm going to be worried the most about for 1 o'clock because, guys, if you didn't look at the schedule yet, there's a lot of doozies this week, at least on paper. So this at 1 o'clock is definitely getting the most attention for me. But yeah, and I agree with you. Just he's been on at least a touchdown tear. Like his yards are getting split. But this is a very good pick, we believe. Mm-hmm. On to the next one. Jaden Reed receiving yards. He's going to get at least 50 receiving yards when the Houston Texans go to Lambeau Field in Green Bay at 1 o'clock. Eric, I'll let you take the lead on this one because you kind of spearheaded this game. Just in general, we had a lot of debate about what to cherry pick from this one. So I'll let you take the lead on why we ended up picking Jaden Reed.
Yeah, he's really morphed into sort of the de facto number 1 receiver for the Packers this season. They got Christian Watson and they got Romeo Doubs, but those guys aren't nearly as consistent as Jaden Reed. When Jordan Love has been out there, Reed has also been very, very good and put up really good numbers. He's gotten over 50 plus yards every week, but 2 games this season. And one of those was the second week of the season when Jordan Love didn't play and they just ran it 125 times and didn't even throw the ball. So that really wasn't his fault. But he's been very, very consistent. He's a very important receiver for them, and Love likes to throw it to him. He gets short routes. He gets deep routes as well. So he gets plenty of opportunities and plenty of targets every game. I think he's going to hit this fairly easily. The Texans, they haven't been bad defensively, but they haven't been knockout, lights out defensively either. So teams have been able to, put up some points on them. And this Packers team is good. This is another game that I really feel is going to end up being somewhat of a shootout this weekend. I see this being a very high scoring game as well, because I feel like the Packers are definitely going to put up points. I don't think the Texans defense is going to be able to slow them down. It's really going to be a matter of if the Texans offense can keep up, as we talked about in the text chat. When the Texans played the Vikings defense, which is the only real defense that they've played that's any good this season, they didn't look very good. Now Packers defense is not as good as the Vikings defense, but they are pretty good. So I'm interested to see how well the Texans do in this game. This to me is a very big test for, are the Texans really ready for playoffs / Super Bowl contention?
Yeah, I mean, with the Texans and, they got CJ Stroud, but they didn't look so good against the Vikings. But, we're trusting you. You know a little bit more about Jaden Reed than I think both of us combined. So 50 plus yards, it's not really a lot in this day and age for a receiver. for even a second receiver to get that in a game on a consistent basis. So if you're saying he's the de facto one, then I think 50-plus yards should be easy and probably have it by the first half.
You're on mute, Dan.
Discussing this, you kind of cooled me off the Texans a little bit. I saw this and I needed to get reminded that Love has just gotten more and more comfortable. Like, his injury's not really bothering him anymore. They had a surging comeback against the Vikings. Like, if this offense clicks at the right time, this offense will click, and it helps a lot that they're at home. So it's only going to be cheeseheads, like maybe 5% Texans fans in Green Bay, if that. So it could, with the environment the way it is, the Texans could have their hands full. This is definitely going to be a test for them to see if this young team and D'Amico Ryans can really like handle some pressure, even though it's at 1:00. So that was ultimately like, let's not be so let's not just assume like, okay, let's take the winner of the game out of this. And then your argument for Jaden was pretty compelling for being the one thing we take out of this game. I hadn't realized that Green Bay, he kind of settled into the number one spot, but good for him. I like this pick. The next game, Commanders are hosting the Panthers, the on paper worst team in the league. Somehow not the Browns. At least for a couple weeks, they're still the worst team in the league. But they got a little bit of spunk to them with Andy Dalton. Even still, though, the Panthers they may have spirit, but they will still lose, unfortunately. And we are comfortable taking the 6.5 point alternate spread on this. What do you guys have 2 cents wise on this game? Like,
well, it's
Commander Daniels are going to kill them, I think.
Yeah, Commanders and Panthers in Washington. I think the more interesting bet would be in this one, the over/under people who end up on IR because of this game would be a nice bet to have too. With that field being so horrible. But as far as this spread alternate, what was it, 9 or 8 at one?
8.
It was at 8. So
just
take it at 6. Yeah, just put it at 6.5. Doesn't really change the odds that much. Touchdown, winning by a touchdown covers. The Commanders just look really, really good this year. And they, even in their loss against the Ravens this past week, they gave it a good hard charge, and we're kind of in that game up until maybe like the last 4 minutes of the game. So I think this is a good pick. The Panthers on the road against the Commanders, I definitely see probably a double-digit win. So -6.5 is easy to take.
Yeah, I mean, every year in the NFL, there's a team or two that sneaks up on everybody that no one thinks was going to be any good and sort of arrives before everyone thought. And it appears that this year that's the Commanders. I mean, they've just looked really, really good. Again, even though, as Jimmy B pointed out, they lost last week to the Ravens, they still looked good in that loss. They didn't just fold to the Ravens. So I do anticipate that they're going to win this game. I would like to think that they're going to blow the Panthers out. Spoiler alert, this is the other game that I am taking for my second entry in the survivor pool. So hopefully they're able to pull out the win on this as well. I'm a little frightened because I feel like at some point in time there's going to be a bad Commanders loss. I'm just hoping that it's not this week.
I promise you it's not going to be this one. I promise you. As you've both pointed out, the Commanders, like, even in a loss against the Ravens, that the Ravens never really lost the lead. Like, they still kept up with them, even though they never retied it. So that, I think, will be stronger than the Panthers keeping up with the Falcons. Plus, it was a division game. I always tell you, always anticipate weird stuff in division games. This is not a division game. The Panthers should just be entirely outclassed by the Commanders in this. They got some spunk. I'll give them some credit, but spunk doesn't equate to wins, and that's unfortunately what happens to the Panthers every week, seemingly.
Yeah, I think as far as like a Commanders loss to a bad team, you might want to look at like the Giants or maybe the the Cowboys as probably a team that
No, for
you know,
real.
a
An
division that's an
interdivision.
interdivision between a bad team. I would take, that would probably be screwy. Commanders, and Cowboys, or Commanders and Giants. Those two division games would screwy division games happen. So that's where I would think that the Commanders would lose, not against the Panthers at home.
I just love that you called the Cowboys a bad team.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, Jimmy B. If at this rate, outside of the Ravens, if the Commanders are going to lose again, it'll probably be to a division team unless they face the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys, we could have a whole story about why they're bad. 47-9 at home to a really good team like the Lions, and just to go flat like that, so Cowboys are a bad team. So
dude.
Just for fun, Commanders have Panthers this week, then they have Bears, Giants, Steelers, Eagles, Cowboys.
Sorry, I got distracted when you said Bears, because that could be a really, really good game, honestly.
Yeah, that's the one that got flexed too. That was the one that got flexed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That honestly deserves to be 4:30. That has the potential to be a really, really good game if this surge from the Bears is real.
You're telling me nobody wants to see Jalen Hurts against Joe Burrow, against Bengals? Nobody wants to see that. They'd rather watch Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels, sling it out than Burrow.
Two terribly underperforming teams that we all expected to win their divisions.
Yeah.
God, that's so funny. We need to move on to our next ticket item. Mr. Derrick Henry. We were saying that David Montgomery's been on a roll. I will see you one Derrick Henry to one up that. Derrick Henry is on pace to break numerous career records with the Ravens somehow, even though he's splitting reps with Lamar Jackson. It's just, and he's 30, 31. Like, this is a man flipping off father time while he runs into the end zone every week. And this is a Monday night game in Tampa Bay. I don't care that it's in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense can be leaky, but even still, this is Derrick Henry. He's chasing Offensive Player of the Year, and complete confidence he's going to get a touchdown. And I'm cheering for the Bucs. They're my very quiet, well, not very quiet, but they're my secret love affair aside from the Niners this year. But I'm sorry, the Ravens are going to beat them, and Derrick's going to score.
You got a Baker crush.
I do. I love Baker. But I really wish they had a chance in this game, but under the Monday night lights, the Ravens are going to win and Derrick's going to score. That sucks, but it's what it is.
I mean, yeah, Derrick Henry, I believe, has scored a rushing touchdown in every single game this year. So, I mean, it's pretty much just keep laying down that bet, because it's pretty much almost automatic.
It's this year's CMC.
Yeah.
Yeah, death taxes and Derrick Henry scoring touchdowns is what we got this season. He's got 8 touchdowns so far in 6 games, so he's not messing around.
That's stupid. That's just stupid.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that on top of the 704 yards that he has. He's almost averaging 6 yards a game, or 6 yards a carry. So, I mean, it's insane right now. But, I mean, I'm going to keep putting this on the ticket every single week until he proves to me that he's not going to score touchdowns. So, I mean, there's just no point in not doing it. It's easy money at this point in time. So
he is a man among boys, and it's just, actually, I'll take this as the easiest one instead of the Bills covering the spread. Just Derrick Henry's on a tear, and he's gonna try to win Offensive Player of the Year, barring, knock on wood, a injury.
Yeah.
So then on to another. We have 3 running backs, ladies and gentlemen, on this. J.K. Dobbins, anytime scorer, with the Chargers going to the Cardinals in the second Monday Night Football game. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that this is more commonplace this year, Monday night doubleheaders, even though this game will be objectively terrible to watch. We picked this because Jim Harbaugh has made J.K. Dobbins the centerpiece of the offense, not Justin Herbert, because he's throwing to a bunch of 2s and just He's throwing to a bunch of nobodies, and he stepped up to the challenge. Like, he left Baltimore, and funny enough, he left Baltimore and revitalized his career. And we had a good debate about if the Chargers or the Cardinals were going to win this game. So we just said, screw it. The only thing certain in this is J.K. Dobbins will score. And I don't know. Like you've said a lot of times, Eric, we have no idea who the hell the Cardinals are week to week, but we do know they have a terrible rush defense.
Yeah, I mean,
Go
Jimmy
ahead,
B
Eric.
is okay. Sorry, you were kind of frozen on my end. Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals have not been good defensively against the run. We talked about that when the Niners came in to play them, and we saw that when the Niners played them. The Niners were able to run the ball very successfully against them. They just couldn't close out the game defensively. That wasn't the running game's fault in that regard. Dobbins has been great running the ball all season long. He's got 438 yards already. He's got 3 touchdowns. They had a bye week already as well, so he's only played 5 games. He's been doing very well this season, and as you mentioned, Dan, he is the centerpiece of that Chargers offense, not Herbert. Herbert's only thrown for over 200 yards 1 week, and that was just this past week. So Dobbins is going to get a lot of carries. He's going to get a lot of opportunities, and I think it's pretty safe to say he's going to get in the end zone this week.
Yeah, and Jonathan Gannon's defenses against the runs have been some of the worst defenses you'll see. Jonathan Gannon has never, his defenses have never really been good against the run, only really the pass. And so I think it's pretty safe to say that the run game is probably going to tear the Cardinals apart in the game. So.
Yeah, so a pretty safe bet there. I'm going to switch this tab to get our last one, because now that we have Mr. Jimmy B back, of course we had to get the Eagles in here. And honestly, the safest bet for the Eagles right now, despite everything else that's going on with them, Saquon Barkley is still a producer, getting an anytime touchdown and running for 90 yards against this Giants defense that is not... I don't know. I'm still on the fence on them. They're okay. Like, they kind of bent and not really broke against the Bengals, except for that fluke final touchdown. But that segues into why we picked this. Their run defense is leaky and can give up an explosive. So Saquon going 90 yards is not unrealistic. And then, yeah, just Saquon scoring, just you can tell me how many touchdowns that he has in total this year. Like, he has enough that this feels like a very safe bet that he will run them over into the end zone.
Well, I took this. The reason why I'm taking Saquon Barkley, anytime TD 90 plus yards, is because this is the first time he's playing the Giants since becoming an Eagle. And I think he's going to go out there and show the Giants why they should have made him an offer. So that's why I'm like, this is going to be a Saquon game. That's why I believe 90 plus rushing yards will be there. He'll probably break one really long too. Like I'm thinking like maybe a 50 or 60 yarder might be broken this game with Saquon Barkley. Like I just think he's going to have a day against the Giants. And honestly, I think these are mediocre numbers as compared to what he'll actually have.
You saw the Bengals. The Bengals are able to rip off some really good running tears against the Giants. Like, of course, yes, the emotional aspect of it too that I neglected to put 2 and 2 together. But yeah, no, Saquon going off in this game makes absolute sense. I think that is a very, very safe bet for this. What do you think, Eric?
Yeah, I totally forgot about the fact that it's the Saquon revenge game. I didn't even realize that. So I'm all on board this train for Saquon to get a touchdown at 90 plus yards. And I probably would have been all on board going for more yards. Jimmy B, you reminded me.
I wanted to sort of like, I didn't want to scare you guys, into it. Yeah. So I was like, well,
I feel like a bad NFL amateur host and reporter that I completely spaced that this was Saquon's first big revenge game. Of course he's going to go off in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly think so.
Yeah, and like what was the original, like 70 plus yards that we could have taken? That was like where it was started at.
That was what we just picked. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 70 yards to start at. And I was just like, no, we need to bump that up, get better odds on this ticket. And so
play it safe.
Yeah,
play it safe with 90, but there's no way like he's going to be pushing a 150 total. I bet. Like we couldn't do the.
Yeah, I would think
if we could have done the combined, I would have said 150.
Yeah, if we could have done combined 150, I think easily in this game. I just feel like he's just going to have no respect for the Giants, and he's just gonna. Eagles are going to be Saquon heavy this day, and just go to him, and that'll be it. He'll run all over them and have a game. So,
well, they should be Saquon heavy. He's their. I mean, I don't want to necessarily say that he's their best player because, I mean, A.J. Brown's pretty good too. But, I mean, he's probably been their most effective player so far this season. So, I mean, they would do right by themselves to just lean on him and keep going. Just as a statistical point, Giants give up 5.2 yards per rushing attempt and 116 yards a game.
So, 90-plus yards rushing against this from a guy that's just simply out to get revenge on them. I mean, like I think it's a really easy bet. And like you said, Dan, like if we could have gotten 150 off combined rushing and receiving, like we would have taken.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah.
No,
Well, no, thank you for adding the numbers to back that up as well. So my theory was correct. So I didn't just talk out of my butt there. Anyway, guys, that is our parlay ticket for this week. You saw the $15 pays out over $600. Of course. Oh, of course. I'll go ahead and I made this. Look at this. James, I started getting into
and then you forgot to run it.
You'd think 3 years in I'd know what I'm finally doing, but yeah, I always forgot to do the disclaimer like audibly, so I thought, oh, let's make this, but now here it is. Technically, I'll make sure to have that up for week 8. But but yeah, there we go. It technically got on the video now. Audience, audio people, the disclaimer's in the show notes because I do put that in. I am not messing around with the show notes on the podcast only people.
Yeah. And only bet if it's legal in your area as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely don't do any illegal betting. That would be a terrible thing.
Yeah, don't bet with Tony Soprano. All right.
Yeah, no, just guys, be smart, be careful, get help, all that good stuff.
Only bet what you can afford to lose.
Yeah, like stuff. Eric, just $1.
Yeah, $1. That's
exactly.
The pennies. It's the penny slots of gambling.
It is.
I don't know if you'd be proud or disappointed in me, but like separate solo bets that I'll make. I used to do them at 10, and now I'm going down to 5 on them, and I always just make them like in the moment, or not in the moment, but like barely like beforehand. But I don't know. You guys are pulling me in. Like you remember, I was so tepid on them last year, and now
come to the dark side, Dan.
Yes.
I'm all for the legalization. Like I am having more fun this year. I'm not tiptoeing into it like I was last year. I may just be floating with my water wingies, but no, it's growing on me.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we're little teaser for maybe what's coming in the future. We have an Easy E extremely ridiculous parlay coming up. We don't know when to break it out, but just so you know, it's extremely ridiculous and minimum of 15 legs. So
election week, 2 weeks from now, we don't have to consider the Niners. We can just have a completely emotionally detached, crazy bye-week parlay. Like,
well, so assuming that we all survive the election, we can do that. That sounds great.
Definitely.
Just by coincidence,
the world might explode for all we know.
Just by coincidence, our bye week is election week. That's all I mean, listeners. No angry emails, please. No angry @tweets.
Yeah.
But no, we'll talk more about that off mic. Guys, we do have about 20-ish minutes left, and I did title this episode Kansas City preview. Eric, we did touch base like just ever so slightly on it, but now with these last 20 minutes, and we got Mr. Jimmy B with us, just I don't know. I'm kind of having this stream of consciousness about thinking of the Chiefs. We're taping this 4 days before the game, technically, or 3. I can't count. 3 days before the game. We're on everywhere. 506 Sports said like it's everywhere except like the 6 markets that have another game happening at 4:00. Otherwise, we're everywhere. We got Tom Brady. We got Kevin on Fox. We've played them twice in the Super Bowl. They kicked our butts the last time we played them in the regular season. That was a really bad game. And I don't know. Like I feel like it's even futile to like, oh, if we do this, like then we'll win. Like there's so much emotion and intangibles in this game. Like thank God we're at home, but like I don't know. Like I feel like it's futile to like, yeah, we can tighten up this, tighten up that, but like I don't know. I'm excited to have another shot at the champs, but at the same time, like it's just so I despise them more than I did the Ravens when the Ravens beat us in the Super Bowl. Like this is just I don't know. What are you guys thinking about? What are you guys praying for besides a win? Like how do you guys feel right now? I'll take a temperature check. How about that?
I mean, if I could bet on the game, it would be how many over-unders do they show Taylor Swift? That would be my bet for this game, because every time she's at the game, it's, game her, like, so,
Yeah.
I mean, this game, the Chiefs have had the 49ers number in the last, like, almost 10 years now. So
the last time we beat them was in 2014.
Yeah. So, I mean, 10 years, maybe that brings you luck, the 10-year anniversary of your last win against them. Maybe that brings you good luck, but I mean,
It's the 10-year anniversary revenge game.
Oh God. That was man, I bet in 2014, depending on what week it was Blaine Gabbert starting probably. You remember it was the Jim Tomsula year and Cap was on the bench until like halfway into the season, and then Blaine finally sucked enough.
I'll look it up while you guys are talking.
No, oh man, I don't want to. Or yeah, no. It was Jim's. It was Jim's last year. 2014 was Jim's last year. My bad. So it would have been Kaepernick.
It was Kaepernick. It was Kaepernick versus Alex Smith, a duel for the ages.
Ooh. Oh, and low-key back then, that would have been a really interesting angle. 2 years removed from the Super Bowl where Alex was benched. See, I was thinking it was a Jim Tomsula dumpster fire year.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been the year that Alex didn't hit a touchdown to a wide receiver, right?
Oh, maybe.
May that record never be broken. That was hilarious.
Yeah. He was something special.
Yeah.
He had his pros, he had his cons, but
Alex was not bad. I mean, not
wasn't
the
good either.
The last two years he was not bad.
Yeah, the last 2 years in San Francisco he was all right. With the Chiefs, I mean, I think he was all right with the Chiefs. I mean, yeah, he didn't win a Super Bowl, obviously, but he helped me get second place in the fantasy, 1 year. So
yeah, no, he had a good, well, once he finally left. And then I'm not trying to make this a whole Cap thing. Like, I liked Cap. I'll just leave it there. Statistically, like, I thought Cap got done dirty. And because I thought statistically it shouldn't have even been a question that he would stay there. Just strictly from the numbers, I'm aware there are outside other things.
I'm not very optimistic about this game this week, to be honest. The Chiefs are really, really good.
I feel that. I honestly really do. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, no, I feel you. Okay. I have a looming pessimism with this game too.
Yeah, the Chiefs are really, really good, and I'm not we talked a little bit about this on Monday. Like, I'm not 100% sure that the 49ers are really good yet. I'm not sure that the 49ers aren't just pretty good and able to beat up on teams that aren't good. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out, and I won't be terribly surprised. I'll be more surprised if this game is a 49ers victory or even close. I honestly expect this game to be not very competitive. I think the Chiefs are going to kind of beat the doors off of them, to be honest.
We have
Which
some
is,
things stacked against us because we got 10 days off, but they're literally coming off a bye. And Andy Reid's lost one game coming off a bye too.
yeah, something like that. So
it is some crazy record like that. Like, I know in Philadelphia, he was something like, 12-2 after a bye, or 13-1 after a bye when he was in Philadelphia. So
he's like over 800 as a head coach coming off a bye.
yeah,
it's insane. It's insane.
We still don't know if Mason's going to play this week or not. I think that's a really huge factor in whether the 49ers have a chance in this game. The Chiefs defense is pretty darn good. So I think that's going to limit a lot of what the 49ers can do this weekend. I don't think that's going to slow. I don't think it's going to slow Purdy down that much. He's played well against the Chiefs. I mean, we saw in the Super Bowl, he wasn't the reason that we lost that Super Bowl. He played very well in that particular game. So I don't think that
Kyle.
He only really got stymied there in the third quarter. Otherwise, the first half and then the fourth quarter, like he did really good 3 out of 4 quarters.
Yeah, and I mean, as good as I should specify, defensive coach as Steve Spagnuolo is, because he's a terrible head coach, but as good as a defensive coach as Steve Spagnuolo is, he didn't really stop Purdy. So, I mean, I think that Purdy can still be effective. It's just going to be a question of whether or not Debo can get open and make things happen. Ayuk has been MIA completely this season outside of one game. Is he going to finally show up and show out in this particular game? Again, are we going to have Mason? Mason's been so key to us having success running the ball. I know Guerrero did a great job last game with the one big run, but prior to that, all of his runs have sucked. So, I don't think that he's going to be the answer. So I worry a lot about what we're going to be able to accomplish in this game. And so I am not very optimistic. I'm watching this game with a lot of pessimism this week and prepared to drink quite heavily.
Yeah, it's gonna, like, outside of IR, it appeared we were going to be relatively healthy. Like, Mason was the biggest question mark I saw on the injury report. Everybody was just a kind of nagging thing. And a shoulder sprain is just pain management. So, I mean, hopefully the 10 days were good, but I would not be surprised if we tried to get Debo more involved and kept Garendo at 3 and then Mason as the number 1. Like, just, I don't know. Kyle's got to be sweating bullets the past 10 days trying to figure out, like, this is definitely one defensive coordinator that has his number. Like, he really can't get away with much when it comes to Spagnuolo. Like, I'm not a all 22. I can't break it down like John Gruden on his YouTube channel, which he does have. If you haven't checked it out, it's kind of amazing. But no, something about the way Spag runs his defense. Like, yeah, he may give up some things here and there in the first half, but you want to talk about like a 99 in adjustments, like Spag's a 99 in adjustments. He knows how to. It's gonna be tough, even if we are like pretty healthy outside of the IR guys. That defense is so good; it keeps the offense on the field. And then Patrick Mahomes, we know he's been 99 the last 4 years. Like, he's making Juju Smith-Schuster go over 100 yards. Travis Kelce finally remembered how to play football. Who was that running back that they just signed? Not
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt had a great game 2 weeks ago. Like, dude, they make chicken soup out of chicken crap. They've lost all these guys, and because 15 is who he is, 15 makes it work. Like, I don't want it to be unfairly competitive and something happened to him, but like that's just how stupid good he is. And he gets to stay on the field because that defense is legit. Like, it's still a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard even at home. Like, I don't know. Like, I did joke before, like, to myself, like, oh, okay, so we're going to go into the bye week 4-4 because we're going to just lose to the Chiefs because we always do, and then we'll kick the crap out of Dallas just it's unfortunate for them because we're just going to be so mad about Kansas City. We'll wallop them, and then we'll go into the bye week 4-4. Like, I'm with you. I'm very pessimistic we're going to win this game. That's, I guess, what I was trying not to say at the top, but because I want to be optimistic, and I'm going to cheer. Just,
Oh yeah.
this could go south very quickly if even if we have all of our I's dotted and T's crossed. Just, it's Kansas City, man, and I hate them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, we've touched on it a couple of times in some of the other shows. And I mean, the 49ers have to capitalize on red zone opportunities. I mean, you're not going to be able to just get away with kicking field goals against the Chiefs. I mean, we saw that in the Super Bowl, not to keep going back to that, but we saw that in the Super Bowl, and, we'll see the same thing again, this week. They're going to have to capitalize on red zone opportunities. They're going to have to convert. I hope that
we don't even know who's kicking since you brought that up. It's either going to be terrible Anders Colston, or however you pronounce his name, or hopefully Matt Wright. I would love for Wright to come back because he did look really good. But
yeah.
But yeah, to your point, if we can't score in the red zone, who the hell's kicking for us?
Yeah. But I mean, I hope, to Jimmy B's point, Kyle has not coached well in these 2 games, and I hope that he is aggressive in this particular game, because I feel like I feel like the Chiefs force you to be aggressive against them. And so I think that he needs to be aggressive. So I hope when we get red zone opportunities, as long as they're a feasible red zone opportunity, like maybe a 4th and 2, or maybe even a 4th and 3 or something like that, I hope he goes for it. I hope he takes that opportunity to try to pick that 4th down up and keep a drive alive and get some points that way, because I think that we need to do that in this game. And I think the other key is just for the 49ers to somehow get ahead of the Chiefs. I think if they can get ahead of the Chiefs somehow, then maybe they have a shot. But if they're playing from behind in this game, then I think they're in a world of hurt.
Yeah. Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
I just let that play in my head. I had that come to, and I was just like, nope, I can't do it.
Yeah. Well, let's hope Kyle studies the overtime rules for regular season too.
We're never going to let that down either.
Oddly enough, I just looked. Do you realize the Niners are favored in this game?
I did. I don't know why, but we are. If I wasn't emotionally connected to this game, like, I advise anybody that's not emotionally connected to this game, 1, why are you listening to us? And then 2, put money on the Chiefs. Like, that's the safer bet. I hate saying it, but
I didn't realize that until I just looked. I have no idea why I'm not putting like $10 on the Chiefs to win this game, like, and getting a 1.5. Like, I don't understand that in any way, shape, or form. Like,
I can't bring my soul to do that.
Well,
just
let's hold on, because you guys are up north, and sometimes you guys get weird odds.
What are the odds down? What are the odds down south, Jimmy B?
Odds down south.
When I checked DraftKings, we were 3-point favorites,
or 1.5 now.
Yeah, it's weird. 1.5 in Florida too. San Francisco favorites.
I just don't understand that. I mean,
we should not be favorites in this stupid game.
I mean, I haven't watched the Chiefs play a ton, but I mean, just from watching every single minute of every single 49ers football game, and like knowing what I know about the Chiefs, I don't understand at all how the 40. I mean, I know you typically get the 3 points for being at home, but like, I don't get at all how they're favored versus the Chiefs.
We should not be favorite against the Chiefs coming off a bye week. That is ridiculous.
Like, what is like? I look at that and I'm like, what does Vegas know that I don't know?
I mean, if you think about it, though, if you get 3 points from being at home, the Chiefs are really
Yeah.
favored in this game. That's real. They're still saying the Chiefs are favored, but that San Francisco has a tiny little bit of home field advantage. Just tiny little bit. But they, you think about it, if you get -3 for being the home team, you're actually -1.5. That means they do like the Chiefs a little bit better. They just tiny bit.
What I would love to see a historical record of immediate Super Bowl revenge games, like the chance that the Super Bowl rematch happens that next year. I'd be willing to bet that that does go to the opponent more times than not. I don't know if that's something that actually can be cool. I mean, it's NFL stats.
I know last
can.
I know last year the Eagles beat the Chiefs after losing to them in the Super Bowl the year before.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, I guess that's my basis of it because I feel like that's happened before. Like the Patriots beat the Giants after both Super Bowls. You beat the Chiefs last year in that epic Sirianni meme. The
Yeah.
what do you yell at them? I don't want to misquote
How
him.
do you like that, Chiefs fans? I don't know. He's yelling a lot of stuff, and he needs to pipe down. He just really needs the pipe down. Okay, like just stop doing it. I get it. I mean, it's good because I think that shows that he has some Philly in him. But you don't really yell at the fans when you only beat the Browns by 4 points at home. So
Yeah, you got to beat the You got to beat the Browns by at least a touchdown.
yeah,
You didn't even do that.
I mean, to be fair, if the special teams had done its job, it would have been 20-9 the game.
Yeah.
So that's one way to look at it. That okay, if the special teams hadn't let Myles Garrett jump over them, and score a freak touchdown, then it was a 20-9 win. But that's
In their defense, Myles Garrett's superhuman. So I mean,
Yeah.
you don't really know what you're dealing with when you deal with that guy.
He is a certified freak of nature.
The betting for this game is really wonky. You can't bet on a lot of different things with this game. There's no rushing bets for this game because I guess they don't know who's going to be rushing for the Niners. So you can only bet on Kareem Hunt and Patrick Mahomes to run. You can't bet on anybody else to run. So
They don't want to void out JP Mason if he becomes an inactive.
Yeah, you can't bet on it. You can't bet on any of the TD scorers like Mason or Guerrero or anybody like that.
Did I send you the Patrick Mahomes bad beat rushing over? Did I send that to you? So I don't know if it was this year or last year, but I saw this podcast through Reels or whatever. I watched this podcast and there was a game in which Patrick Mahomes' over under for rushing yards was 18.5, and he actually had 30 going into the final drive of the game. It was against Atlanta. That's right. It was against Atlanta, and he had 30. And 3 snaps, you kneel on it, game over. That's all they needed to do. But Patrick Mahomes ran back 5-10 yards, and then knelt, and then he did it again, and then he only rushed for 17 yards, and it hit the under.
Oh no,
that's hilarious.
That sucks. That's super funny.
That's a really bad beat, man.
Yeah, a sneaky bet is betting for Purdy to rush for over 12, 13 yards. He pretty much hits that pretty consistently every week.
I was gonna, I was gonna say 20, but no, that's has he hit 20 consistently?
I don't know if he's hit 20, but the over under for him is usually 12, 13 every week. So that's a pretty sneaky, consistent bet.
I wonder what the odds would have been if you would have bet Joe Burrow over 50 yards rushing.
Oh, dude,
in that game.
That'd have been like plus 3,000.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That was so funny. And then he almost didn't score. That was just anyway, guys. I'm seeing our time here. We'll say a prayer off mic. We'll pray for Victory Monday, and I don't know. We'll all hold our collective breaths together and see if we can pull this off, because it won't be easy. But what is easy, though, is getting yourself a brand new jersey.
From
From our sponsor, RoyalRetros.com. What is Royal Retros? It is your go-to place to get yourself an authentic throwback jersey. Whether you're a basketball fan or baseball fan or football fan, any of the major sports, Royal Retros has you covered. And if you find something that you like, specifically from the Candlestick collection, it is curated with us Bay Area fans in mind. Use the promo code Shady Sports when you check out, and you'll get 10% off of your entire order. It'll help us out. It'll help our parent, Shady Sports Network, out. Again, use that promo code Shady Sports, and you'll get 10% off of your entire order at RoyalRetros.com. Again, RoyalRetros.com, promo code Shady Sports. Go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today. James, it's been a minute. Do you feel that you can talk?
No.
You feeling up to talking about our shirts?
Yeah. So, guys, if you follow the show, we talk a lot about the lack of owner accountability in the NFL. Being with owners doing naughty things and the NFL not really reporting on it and not letting people know. Whereas a player, we can look at it a couple of weeks ago, Tyreek Hill was arrested on the way to the game. We heard that right away. Like, that was instant news. But, an owner can actually get charged and arrested for very serious sexual crimes, and we don't hear about it for a couple of months down the road. And we all know Dan Snyder, he got kicked out of the league, but he had a blackmail PowerPoint, and there were 31 slides on that blackmail PowerPoint. So we are trying to bring owner accountability to the NFL. That's why we say owner standards are less than player standards, #owner accountability. And to show you we put our money where our mouth is, we are raising money for Mountain Comprehensive Care Centers in Kentucky by selling some T-shirts. This is our statement T-shirt, owner standards are less than player standards, #owner accountability. You can get that for $22.99 in different colors, different sizes, and different styles as well. Next up, we have our podcast logo art. You'll find this anywhere. You find us on the social media, whether it be our Twitter account, YouTube account, Spotify account, Apple account. This is the logo that you will see in our profile. $22.99 gets you that in a T-shirt. And we have different styles and different sizes. Next up, we have our podcast alternate logo. I have this very good material, different colors, different sizes, different styles, starting at $22.99. And last but not least, our official mascot. How can you say no to a peanut eating peanuts while cheering on his San Francisco 49ers? Get that T-shirt, $22.99 today. I have that T-shirt as well. Good quality as well.
Yes, if you want information on Mountain Comprehensive Care Center, it is also down below here on YouTube and podcasting platforms. We have their website along with the actual bonfire link. Sorry about that. My ESPN Yankees stun Cleveland. Okay, that was not. I had it wrong. I thought the Yankees were. I said that incorrectly off mic earlier. So what is that 3? Is that 3-0 for Cleveland now?
3-0.
Yeah. Oh man, I really want it to be a Yankees Mets World Series.
Hey,
I know it's not going to happen.
well, just so you know, if you remember, in 2004, the Yankees blew a 3-0 lead in the series and ended up losing to the Red Sox in 7 games. So
no, I want the. I know you're talking about the Mets, but like Yankees can beat Cleveland. Sorry, Eric, but I really want a Yankees Mets World Series, and I don't know. Cleveland can win. I would love to see the Dodgers invest all this into this year, trying to get this win that they were just blessed by the gods to get and get upset by the Mets. I really want to see that more than anything.
Well, MLB is hoping for Dodgers Yankees, just so you know. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That's
clearly
what they're hoping for.
Clearly.
But, I mean, that would just it would
2 of the biggest market teams in the World Series. Of course they want that one.
with,
I'm not
with
dumb.
2 MVP two MVPs going against each other, like in the same year. Like, I don't remember when the last time that happened was. Like, I'd have to look. But you have Aaron Judge who's going to win the MVP in the AL. You have Ohtani who's going to win the MVP in the NL. Like, to have those 2 guys head to head in a World Series, like Dodgers Yankees, in the history of Dodgers Yankees and World Series, that's what MLB is rooting for. But
No, I get it.
I think as a second place, they will take Mets Yankees.
Yeah. I guess for the
just for clarification's sake, it's bottom of the 8th, 1 out. So the Guardians are still alive.
Oh, okay. I just
What's
saw
the score,
Yankees
though?
stun Cleveland. I thought it was
4-3 Yankees. So boo on that.
Oh, okay. So they still have a shot.
Yeah.
okay. Well, I guess to wrap this up, just for our little news.
Oh,
portfolios at
there's
the
all
end.
sorts of news blurbs today.
Oh, I was just going to ask for our 2 cents on how wild Tuesday was with the Amari Cooper and Devontae Adams trade, like what our 2 cents were on that. But what's the little blurbs that you just found?
We've got Shaheed, the receiver from the Saints, is out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. So the shine of the Saints continues to just fall off and splatter to the ground.
Injury bug and cap hell continue.
Yep. Neighbors, the rookie receiver from the Giants, has cleared the concussion protocol, so he is set to return this weekend. So that makes the Philly Giants game a little bit more intriguing. And Russell Wilson is looking like, by all measures of reporting, that he is going to start for the Steelers this weekend, which kind of surprising. I mean, Justin Fields hasn't been exactly like lighting it up and setting the world on fire, but they have been winning with him as quarterback. So I don't really know why you would change, but apparently that's what they're going to do.
I don't know, because the Steelers have to be right on the edge. They cannot be the front runners. They just need to function right at that 500 level. Right? Like they can't, they can't get out ahead 3-4 games. No, they got to be right at that 500 all season, because that's the only way they know how to function.
Yep.
Yeah.
And remember what Mike Tomlin said. He's not going to tell us how the hot dog's made because we probably won't like it. In that amazing press conference.
Yeah. And he should have referenced Scrapple, though, because that's a PA thing. That's what he should have referenced.
God, I saw a great compilation of just Mike Tomlin's best moments in front of a camera. Like when that guy in the tunnel was like, "Hey, Mike Tomlin, can I talk to you?" And he's just like, "I'm doing my effing job." So
I love Mike Tomlin. I would do anything Mike Tomlin asked me to do.
I would too. He's a phenomenal coach and just the greatest sound bites. Like up there with Jim. Like they produced the best sound bites this year.
Yeah.
What's that? Mike, you want me to run through that wall? Sure, no problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Yeah. But Jets Steelers on Sunday night, kind of a sneaky, interesting game.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, with the Devontae Adams trade that none of us saw coming 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah. Odds minus 10,000 for that.
I wonder if he'll play this weekend. He's got that bad hamstring.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, we gotta. What? It's magically okay now? I've never seen a wide receiver magically get over a hamstring in 1 week before.
Yeah. I just don't know how he'll manage to get on the field this week and make his Sunday Night Football debut.
Oh, yeah. Dude. And then they still lose to the Steelers because it's the Jets.
I know, it's the Jets. And Hassan Reddick has finally been allowed to seek a trade from the Jets now.
Yeah.
You can take the Jet players out of the Jets, but it's still the Jets.
Yeah. There's no way, unless the Jets get to the AFC Championship game, that Joe Douglas has a job at the end of this season. Like,
no,
there's just no way.
He was in a contract year this year, and no, he's not getting extended. Like I will do that now. I will eat my hat if they do make it to the AFC Championship. No, he's gonna get fired, and no, I won't say they won't be a wild card. I think they'll manage to find a way to sneak in as a wild card, but yeah, no, just making them the Green Bay or the New York Packers. I can't wait to see this spectacularly fail.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say that the Jets are going to make a wild card, but the AFC is like pretty bad below like the Chiefs, Ravens, and I guess the Texans.
That's why I told you in our group chat was that the AFC was super top heavy, so like they could.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to take a whole lot to get in probably as a wild card, I guess, because when we went through the list of the games on Monday, 4 of the worst teams in the NFL are all in the AFC. So I mean, it's
when was the last time the Jets were in the playoffs? They're sort of due, you know, to be in the
2015.
they're
That
sort of due to be in the playoffs this year. Like
that wonderful Fitzpatrick year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we love Fitzpatrick.
No,
But
they didn't make
yeah,
it Fitzpatrick's year. They didn't make.
Oh no! You're right. Yeah. No, it may have been
blew
more
it at the last game of the season.
in Buffalo.
They lost their final two to not make it to the playoffs. So.
I think I think they lost to the Raiders and then Buffalo, and Fitzpatrick was like a 3-7 touchdown to interception ratio in those games.
Yeah,
something bad like that.
But I mean, the Dolphins aren't making the playoffs. The Patriots aren't making the playoffs. The Bengals aren't making the playoffs. The Browns aren't making the playoffs.
No.
The Titans and the Jaguars are not making the playoffs. The Broncos and the Raiders are not making the playoffs. Chargers are probably not making the playoffs. Colts, if Anthony Richardson plays the rest of the season, probably not making the playoffs. So, I mean, it's kind of just going to be by default that unless the Jets totally like suck the rest of the season, as long as they get to like 9 to 10 wins, they're going to make the playoffs because there's no other option.
There you go. And not to cut this short though, but yeah, we gotta get out of here, guys. It's gonna be a game on Sunday, 4:30 on Fox. Obviously, Tom and Kevin are calling it, and we will send a prayer to the guys. Hopefully, we get our Super Bowl revenge. Jimmy,
outro music, River Road, Justin Youth.
Go Niners!
Let's beat the Chiefs.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the way you